With hospital staffers and equipment drastically reduced due to the COVID-19 outbreak, the Health Department now designates exclusive COVID-19 hospitals. The President, in a speech aired way past midnight, urges local government units to abide by guidelines set by the national government. But the city of Marikina is one step ahead. They have set up their own molecular laboratory for COVID testing, the first LGU to do so. COVID-19 cases in the country now tally 230 with 13 new infections. The Philippines also adds one more fatality to its latest count. Meanwhile, Italy is now officially the deadliest center of the pandemic, with fatalities now breaching that of China's. And forget about alcohol or toilet paper. The Dutch want to stock up on something to keep them chill and calm amid the lockdown. Good evening, I'm Ed Lingao. This is the special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Signal TV's 1 News, Radio 5 and 1PH. The Health Department is expected to formally designate today the Philippine General Hospital as a COVID-19 referral facility in Metro Manila. The PGH has stopped admission for non-emergency cases to free up wards and rooms. The DOH adds that a 40-bed wing of the Lung Center of the Philippines is also being considered as a referral facility. Health authorities are also in talks to use the Jose N. Rodriguez Memorial Hospital and Sanitarium in Caloocan. Health Undersecretary Rosario Vergere says the DOH has already coordinated with different hospitals in Metro Manila to take on this role. In an open letter addressed to authorities, private hospital officials urged the government to designate 1 or 2 COVID-specific hospitals to free up other healthcare facilities. Vergere says this was exactly what they were trying to accomplish in the past few weeks.
Dati pa naman yan na nandiyan, na pinag-iisipan, na tinitignan kung ano ang pwedeng mga ospital na maaari nating gawing very specific for COVID para nga maiwasan na ang mix ng mga pasyente natin sa loob, magkaroon tayo ng kakayanang tugunan ang mga pangangailangan ng COVID-19 patients natin in a more organized manner.
But PGH spokesman Dr. Jonas Del Rosario clarifies that the hospital can only assist the DOH to a certain extent, as resources such as medical supplies are limited. And aside from that, the PGH, which caters to a large number of poor people, may have problems transferring its patients to another facility.
Meron po kami mga ilalaan na mga beds o kwarto i-allocate po para sa mga COVID-19 patients. Hopefully po ay makapag-allocate kami conservatively ng mga 150 beds sa aming ward. Maybe kasama na po yung mga 30 beds sa ICU.
The medical city in Pasig is backing the health department's move to designate hospitals which will exclusively handle COVID-19 cases. In our newscast earlier, TMC President and CEO Eugenio Jose Ramos said that their resources and medical supplies such as personal protective equipment or PPEs and surgical masks are running short. Given the current trend, Ramos says the hospital's resources may only last for 2 weeks. Ramos also says they are now short on personnel, with almost 200 medical staff who were exposed to COVID-19 patients already under quarantine. Some doctors, he says, are even in intensive care units.
About 3 days ago, we had 191. 191 na doctors and nurses na quarantine, no? And then they have to stay for 14 days.
Opo.
Kung wala silang symptoms, okay na, there's no need for testing. But we will have to wait. We have to wait. Ang protocol ng WHO, you have to wait for 14 days. So you can imagine na dagdag ng dagdag yan, exponential yan.
Meanwhile, Asian Hospital and Medical Center says they are now handling 6 COVID-positive patients. 3 are in critical condition, while the other 3 are recovering. The hospital sources its medical supplies and PPEs from the government, private suppliers, and from Metro Pacific Corporation. AHMC assures the public that they are advised to scale down exposure to doctors and other medical staff. They remain ready to immediately respond to any urgent patient in need.
Imagine mo kung makadako ka lang isang pasyente, nurse ka, ay ibig sabihin 14 days ka nawala.
Opo.
Hindi sustainable talaga yan kahit saan dako ng mundo.
The Health Department is ramping up efforts to make more COVID-19 testing centers available in the country as it confirms additional cases and deaths due to the virus. For the details, Greg Gregorio is joining us live. Greg, may mapapabilis na nga ba ang COVID-19 testing sa ating bansa?
Mas mapapabilis na nga ang pagsasagawa ng testing para sa makabayan nating posibleng apektado ng COVID-19. Ayon sa Department of Health, bukod sa Research Institute for Tropical Medicine o RITM sa Muntinlupa, ay natukoy na nilang iba pang subnational laboratories o subnational laboratories sa iba't iba pang ospital gaya ng San Lazaro Hospital sa Maynila, Baguio General Hospital and Medical Center sa Northern Luzon, Vicente Soto Memorial Medical Center sa Cebu at ang Southern Philippine Medical Center sa Davao City na maaaring magsagawa ng COVID testing. May kakayahan daw ang mga ito na magproseso ng 50 hanggang sa 300 COVID-19 tests kada araw. At maliban pa sa 5 testing sites na ito, isinasagawa na mga nauukol na pagkilos para makapagsagawa na rin ng testing sa Western Visayas Medical Center at Bicol Public Health Laboratory. Ipaniliwanag naman ni DOH OIC Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere na hindi daw maaring payagang magsagawa ng COVID-19 testing ang lahat ng ospital na mayroong laboratorio. Tanging sa mga molecular biology laboratories lang daw ito maaring isagawa dahil delikado raw ang handling ng specimen para matukoy kung positibo nga ito sa COVID-19. Sa ngayon, naniniwala ang DOH na malaking tulong na ang pagkakaroon ng 5 subnational laboratories para mapabilis ang testing. Dagdag pa ng ahensya, hindi pa posible sa ngayon ang mass testing dahil sa limitadong resources. Ang mass testing daw na isinasagawa na ng ilang mga bansa ay hindi pa rin napapatunayang epektibo laban sa COVID-19. Sa pinakahuli namang ulat, nakapagtala ang DOH ng 13 panibagong kaso ng COVID-19. Dahil dito, 230 na ang kabuang bilang ng COVID-19 cases sa bansa. Wala pang naitatalang panibagong kaso ng recovery pero isa naman ang nasawi. Siya ay si PH124, isang 65-year-old na Pinoy mula Quezon City. Mayroon siyang history of travel sa Singapore. Nagpositibo siya sa COVID-19 noong March 15 at nasawi matapos ang 2 araw nitong Martes, March 17. Si PH124 ang ika-18 kaso ng COVID-19 mortality sa bansa sa ngayon. Ed?
Greg, meron ba tayong idea kung ilan na ngayon ang testing kits na nasa bansa? Kasi may mga nagdatingan na at may mga parating pa rin na testing kits eh, di ba? The last we heard was we had 2,500 testing kits if I remember correctly, and that was 2 weeks ago.
Yes, Ed, ang sabi ng DOH sa ngayon meron tayong 2,500 testing kits na dumating nga mula sa China at sa South Korea. Pero kanina binanggit din ni OIC Undersecretary Vergere na inaasahan natin ang pagdating ng higit sa 100,000 testing kits sa mga susunod na araw o linggo mula pa rin yan sa South Korea at China at sa ilan pang donors. Ed?
Maraming salamat, Greg Gregorio. And now let's look at the COVID-19 situation in the country via this tracker created by the Health Department. We can see here that the cases are still concentrated in Metro Manila, yung malaki pong tuldok doon. We now have 230 COVID-19 cases in the country. There are now 30 COVID-19 patients at the Medical City in Ortigas, yun po pinakamarami, and followed by the RITM, the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine with 29, St. Luke's Quezon City with 24, St. Luke's Global City with 19, and yung panglima po is Santa Ana Hospital with 15 and Makati Medical Center with 13, followed by Cardinal Santos Medical Center with 12. In terms of the rate of infection, if you look at this graph po, I'll just expand it a bit. There we go. Ito pong blue line paakyat pa rin, patuloy pa rin po yung pag-akyat. So we still see the infection going up, hindi pa po nagpla-plateau o hindi pa rin po nag-i-stabilize ng dire-diretso bago po bumaba. So tumataas po siya tuloy-tuloy. Magmula pa yan po, yung pagtaas niyan, noong unang linggo ng Marso. Ayan po. Okay, let's take a look at the cases, particularly their ages. Ito po yung mga naapektuhan at mga natamaan, at ito po yung pinakamalaki pa rin, yung edad na 51 hanggang 60. Yan pa rin po ang pinaka-vulnerable na age group. On what you might call the brighter side, 8 people have recovered from COVID-19 in the country. Okay, with cases of COVID-19 still concentrated in Metro Manila, how will rural communities cope with the virus? To give us the answer, hopefully the answer to this question, we have on the line Dr. Jean Nisperos, ang representative po ng Community Medicine Development Foundation. Magandang gabi po, Dr. Nisperos.
Magandang gabi, Ed.
Opo.
Magandang gabi sa ating lahat po.
Opo. I think your group had a statement released to the media just a few hours ago expressing naman concerns about the situation doon sa Kanayunan. Kasi so far po, yung focus ng bansa ay nasa Metro Manila at nasa Luzon, pero hindi pa po ganun kalaki ang focus doon sa Kanayunan. Ano po nakikita ninyo?
Kasi yun nga, isa yun sa gusto naming pag-usapan din. Tama naman nakatutok tayo sa nangyayari sa Metro Manila, but sa tingin namin, that is only half of the battle or half of the war, in fact. Because yung nakikita nating bilang ngayon na affected provinces, no, both in Visayas, in Luzon, and in Mindanao, tip of the iceberg lang yan. No? Huwag nating harapin yung problema ng probinsya pag lumaki na yung bilang. Ngayon pa lang, because we believe if we do not look at the province now, we will always be 2 steps behind COVID-19.
Maghahabol tayo.
Yes, laging reactionary kasi tayo ngayon eh. Naiintindihan ko, naghahabol tayo, pero we should focus on the provinces in order to avoid the current problems we're already facing here in Metro Manila. For instance, yung shortages ng supplies, ng protective personal equipment, ng testing kits, it's only one aspect. Isa rin gusto naming baguhin sa narrative ngayon is the focus on the medical aspect. Because when it reaches the provinces, we also need to focus on the social aspect. Maraming mga LGUs hindi handa. Paano nila tutulungan yung mga lugar, yung mga komunidad na kahit tubig, wala. How are we going to promote hand washing, for instance? So yung mga yan ay hindi pinag-uusapan. Ang malaking bahagi ng probinsya, bagamat naghahanda sila, ay hindi natin nabibigyan ng kaukulang pansin. No, in both the medical and the social aspect. So, gagawin ba natin yun? Marami ng numbers. Siguro, if we're going to take a system-wide look, a comprehensive look at how we will approach COVID-19, we should be doing this simultaneously. Habang nagpo-focus tayo sa pagharap ng mga hospital sa COVID case dito sa capital region, maganda talagang hinahanda na natin both the healthcare system and the LGUs in the province. Isa pa lang kinukonsider din namin nakakabahala. Alam natin na pag lumayo ka ng Metro Manila, yung healthcare system natin, particularly yung public healthcare system natin, mas mahina.
Opo.
Mas understaffed sila, mas less yung equipment. Paano natin harap niya? Dito nga tayo sa Metro Manila, ang gaganda na namang hospital dito, relatively, hirap na hirap pa rin tayo. Pag pumutok yan sa probinsya, it's going to be even more difficult. And we have a public healthcare system that is already teetering on the brink of collapse even before COVID-19. Hirap na hirap yung public healthcare system natin sa usual epidemics, dengue, measles. And yet, ngayon, patamaan tayo ng COVID-19. Ano tayo kahanda dyan? Diba? Yun yung gusto namin ilagay sa lamesa. Pag-usapan natin yan, let's focus on it so that we have a more broader picture of the COVID cases in the country, in the archipelago.
Parang while we're addressing the issues of Metro Manila and Luzon on the immediate term, in the medium and long term, we should also be looking at issues in the countryside kung saan mas maliit yung resources available.
Yes, kung ganito, ngayon pa nga, naghahanda na yung mga nakikita namin, maraming doktor, maraming health centers doon, nag-create na sila ang sarili nilang self-made protective units. Kasi na-expect nila hindi aabot yung personal protective equipment sa kanila. Dito pa lang sa Metro Manila, kulang na. Diba? So, paano yun? paano natin binibigyan ng isang kumpas yan? How are we looking at the poor municipalities, the poor provinces? Now, if you're looking naman at hospitals, karamihan ng government-run hospitals ay nasa major regional centers. For instance, sa Northern Mindanao, nasa Cagayan de Oro yan. Sa Davao, nasa Davao City yan. Ang lalayo niyan. Like Metro Manila, na they're more relatively closer. They're talking about fewer hospitals that can cater to COVID cases, that have the facilities and the knowledge to address COVID cases. So, ang laki ng kailangan nating tignan paglabas natin sa Metro Manila. So, yan ang nakikita namin hindi pa masyadong pinag-usapan, hindi pinaghahandaan. At the primary level, at the community level, hindi pa tagos na tagos yung paghahanda natin sa usapin ng COVID-19.
And at the same time po, I suppose the LGUs have to be really alert kasi for all you know, baka mamaya mayroong mga clusters of COVID infections that are already growing in certain areas na hindi nila nalalaman.
Definitely. Kaya nga medyo agree din kami dun sa call ng testing. Kasi pag hindi mo talaga tinest, hindi mo alam yung clustering, hindi mo alam kung asan yung mga kaso, di ba? Mahirap talagang mag-address ng issue nang hindi mo nakikita yung kung nasaan dapat.
Ayun, maraming salamat po. Dr. Jean Nisperos, representative ng Community Medicine Health Foundation, Community Medicine Development Foundation. Maraming salamat, Dr. Nisperos. Meralco is deferring the conduct of meter reading and delivery of bills to households amid the Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine. The company says billing will be estimated based on the customer's average consumption for the past 3 months. Meralco notes that the difference will be reflected on the next bill and corresponding charges will be adjusted. The Energy Department is calling on the power sector or power sector corporations to defer payments of obligations and dues. In a memorandum, Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi says the extension should last for 30 days after the conclusion of the enhanced community quarantine across Luzon. And as the Bureau of Immigration temporarily suspends several transactions in its Luzon offices, foreigners whose visas will expire during the quarantine period will be allowed to file their applications for extension with penalties as long as they apply 30 days before the lifting of the quarantine. Let's now check the latest posts on COVID-19 in the country via CrowdTangle. Sa News 5 and Partners po, nangunguna overperforming yung post ng The Philippine Star. Coming from Connie Reyes, showing her appreciation to all the people who helped her son, Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto, in the battle against COVID-19 in the city. It's a quote card from The Philippine Star. Connie Reyes saying, "Thank you so much to all the men and women who tirelessly work alongside Vico. Bilib ako sa inyo." And going down, also from The Philippine Star, a 24-year-old woman and her partner had both tested positive before the delivery on Wednesday, but the first test on the baby and delivered ng bata came back negative for COVID-19. The first test ng bata came back negative for COVID-19. From News 5, good news. Sumaludo ang mga sundalo bago na maalam sa mga health workers sa Wuhan, China na nauuwi ng Yunnan Province. Patuloy kasi ang paggaling at paglabas sa ospital ng mga kumpirmadong kaso ng COVID-19 sa bansa. Okay, and still from the Philippine Star, all SM employees will receive their regularly scheduled salaries during the ECQ period without deductions made against their vacation and sick leaves. From Philippine politicians, yung overperforming po as of 4 hours ago is a video post by Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano in front of the Taguig City Hall. Unfortunately, wala po tayong speaker dito para marinig siya. Also from VP Roberto naman, 6 hours ago, it's a photo post of mga dumating na testing kits and extraction kits for COVID-19 na ipapamahagi sa mga ospital. And moving down from Friends of Vice President Leni Robredo 6 hours ago, okay, it's a hashtag Protect Mayor Vico. Again, from Alan Peter Cayetano from 4 hours ago, another video message. From Philippine government and politicians, from DepEd Philippines, transmutation templates for schools without fourth quarter exams. In support of DepEd Memorandum 42, the DepEd is providing grading and transmutation templates for schools unable to administer the fourth quarter exams due to suspensions. And PTV4 from 3 hours ago, Sentro Balita, paganda ng family food packs ng DSWD, puspusa na. Distribution ng food packs gagawing house to house. And one more from Mayor Oscar Malapitan. At the moment, Zapote Road, North Caloocan. Yan po galing kay Caloocan Mayor Oscar Malapitan. From NGOs, medyo malayo na. Greenpeace Philippines, COVID-19 world response is showing that rapid, it's putol eh, and disruption of business as usual is possible. We must respond to climate change like we are responding to COVID-19. Okay. At para po sa kabataan, huwag balewalain ang banta ng COVID-19. Lumalabas kasi sa mga pag-aaral sa Amerika at sa Europa na maging ang tinatawag na younger population ay vulnerable din po sa coronavirus. Panood natin ang quick take mula po sa Bloomberg.
I hope they just listen to what we've been saying over the last period of time. We don't want them gathering, and I see they do gather, including in beaches and including in restaurants, young people. They don't realize that they're feeling invincible.
However, what you might inadvertently do, and I know you don't want to do that, you don't want to put your loved ones at risk, particularly the ones who are elderly and the ones who have compromised conditions. We can't do this without the young people cooperating. Please cooperate with us.
We will go for a quick break, but when we come back, the Chief Executive is calling on local government units to move as one with the national government. And this city was able to set up its own molecular lab for COVID testing. Find out which LGU next. Stay tuned for that. You are still watching our special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using combined force of News 5 and Signal TV's One News, Radio 5, and 1PH. The President calls on LGUs to abide by the directives set by the national government. The President warned local leaders who will not stand in line that they may face sanctions. He reminds them that they should base their local response on guidelines set by the Interagency Task Force, particularly those that made it difficult for cargo trucks to pass through checkpoints and choke points.
You know the only reason why you can impose these quarantine restrictions and impose it on everyone passing your areas is because the national government is allowing you to do so. But if you go beyond the standards that we have set, you are abusing your authority, and you know that it can lead to...
The Chief Executive reminds them that during these trying times, there should be a coordinated response in the different levels of the government.
Let us work together to implement this quarantine, and it should all begin with the LGUs making sure that your actions are consistent with the national directive. To do otherwise would sow confusion.
The President is also mindful of the gravity of the situation. He says, he admits what's happening is beyond just mere quarantine.
Let me add that at this time, I do not think it is just a quarantine or quarantine. I think that we are already in the stage of a lockdown simply because the contagion continues to take its toll in the countryside.
The President also assures those who were left stranded because of the heightened quarantine measures that the police and the army will extend food and lodging assistance.
Yung stranded, we will try to help you. Your Air Force and your Army will help you wherever you are. Kung wala ka nang mauwian, kung wala na kayong matulugan, I am asking the military commanders of the different camps all over the country that you can go there and ask for accommodation.
The Interior Department has drawn a distinction between electric and public tricycles. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año says that banning public transportation, including tricycles, is key in implementing a lockdown. However, e-tricycles, he says, are not considered mass transportation as they do not have routes. Recall that the DILG thumbed down Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto's move to exempt tricycles in the ban to help ferry residents with medical conditions. But the DILG, on the other hand, allowed Manila City's use of e-tricycles to transport health workers. Año explains that the use of e-tricycles in Manila does not fall under public transportation as they are exclusively used for health workers. Meanwhile, Undersecretary Epimaco Densing warns that LGUs will face administrative charges if they fail to follow this ban. The city government of Pasig has launched e-vehicles to transport health workers and other COVID-19 frontliners working around the clock. The city has come under fire from the national government after using tricycles despite the ban on PUVs. Samantala, kamusta naman po natin ang isa pa sa mga LGU sa labas ng Metro Manila? Makakausap po natin sa telepono si Cainta Mayor Kit Nieto. Mayor, kamusta po sitwasyon ninyo dyan sa Cainta?
Maraming ginagawa kasi kami ng tao na medyo nagrereklamo dahil pang ilang araw na rin na hindi sila nakapagtrabaho.
Opo.
So as of now, we're actually repacking a lot of foodstuffs. We have already sent out yung food meals, no, every 5 o'clock in the afternoon para sa 7 barangay. Then we are
Mayor, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, opo. Mayor, doon po sa inyong bayan po, ilan po bale yung mako-consider na na talagang apektado nitong lockdown na ito in terms of yung kailangan padala ng food packs o kailangan pakainin po?
I guess siguro nasa mga 25 to 30,000 yan sila.
People po or families?
These are the displaced, workers pa lang yun.
Workers
these are the displaced workers.
Opo.
Kasi sila mismo as heads of their family, sila yung may incumbent duty to to make sure na merong food sa lamesa nila araw-araw, di ba? So we are actually giving out bigas at saka mga delata sa mga drivers, sa transport drivers na mga na-affect dahil pinatigil ng operations nila, sa mga factory workers na hindi pinapayagang magtuloy sa trabaho, at saka ngayon sa mga construction workers na hindi pwedeng makapagtawid sa mga boundaries para gawin yung mga trabaho nila. So sila pa lang by and large, nasa mga 20,000 na sila
Opo. Kung heads of families po yan, di times 5. So magiging isang
mga 100,000, oo. We're not even looking at kasi ang iniisip ko lang, at least have something to fend themselves with. Ang iniintindi ko ngayon, yung mga namumuhay sa pang-araw-araw, na yung kinita nila for the day, yun ang gagamitin nila para sa pagkain nila sa gabi.
Yeah. So paano po ginagawa nyo ngayon? You have food trucks feeding?
Well, actually, we have a feeding program at 6 o'clock, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon covering the 7 barangays. We give out food stuff. Tapos nga, namimigay kami ngayon ng mga bigas that's good for 3 to 4 days para sa mga pamilya na apektado, ng mga displaced workers. Tuloy pa rin naman ang pamimigay namin ng mga vitamina para wala naman magkasakit na matatanda because they're a vulnerable sector here. Misting pa rin, implementation ng lahat ng mga lugar, continuous pa rin. Madami, mas dumami yung trabaho kasi mas marami na ngayon yung mga issues ng mga nakatira sa Cainta because of the lockdown.
Opo. But how long do you think how long can you afford to do this in terms of resources?
I'm bracing myself for a 30-day period to coincide with the timeline that was imposed by the President. Anything beyond that, maybe we have to source out other funds siguro to sustain what we have started. Yung programa namin ng feeding is for 30 days. Tapos ito namang supply namin ng rice at mga canned goods. It's a continuous every day. So marami na rin naman kami mga donations na natatanggap from the private sector that we convert now para maging para mapabigay namin kaagad sa mga tao, especially dun sa mga inaay namin na vulnerable sectors.
Opo, yung 30 days naman po, sureable naman po yan na meron kayong kakayahan for the 30 days.
Yeah, we are using our quick response fund. If you're talking about a massive implementation of the feeding program, of course we'll be needing more resources kung gusto namin makompleto yung the whole stuff. Kasi now we're trying to prioritize kung sino yung nangangailangan. But dun sa hierarchy ng priorities, siyempre lahat naman ng tao may pangangailangan eh. Inuuna lang namin yung tingin namin na hindi makakasurvive kung hindi magkakaroon ng government intervention.
Opo, but the thing is po, yung 30-day timeline po, that falls short of what they were looking at earlier na maaring 2 months pa bago mag-peak itong sakit.
Yeah, maybe we will just have to realign some of our funds here just to make sure that people live.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Mayor Kit Nieto ng Cainta. Thank you for joining us po.
Okay, thank you.
The NCR Police Office and the Quezon City Police Department have started to reduce their personnel in quarantine control points. And to explain this, we have News 5 correspondent Pat Mangunit live from Mandaluyong City. Pat, ano nangyari dyan? Bakit binabawasan?
Ed, nakipagpulong si NCRPO Regional Director Debold Sinas sa mga opisyal naman ng Eastern Police District. At anya, wala rin dito mga report o insidente ng looting. Pero binawasan na rin ang mga pulis na nakadeploy sa Quarantine Control Points o QCP at mga checkpoints dito sa EPD. Para kasabay din ng pagliit ng numero ng mga taong nasa kalsada at mga sasakyan. Pero magjo-duty pa rin ang mga binawas na pulis na i-a-assign naman sa pagbabantay sa iba pang establishmento gaya ng palengke, ospital at supermarkets. Bumaba rin ang crime rate dito sa EPD mula noong March 15 simula ng quarantine period. Ang Marikina halimbawa, 2 kaso na lang ang naitala. Ang Pasig, 2 krimen lang din ang naitala. Ang Mandaluyong, 1 lamang. At sa San Juan ay 0 crime maliban lang sa mga sumuway sa curfew. Samantala, sa Paranaque City naman ay may person of interest na ang mga pulis kaugnay ng pagnanakaw at pagpaslang sa isang byuda sa barangay Marcelo Green sa Paranaque City kagabi. Nakita raw kasi sa CCTV ang suspect at kasalukuyan ng hinahanap. Ayon sa NCRPO, pagnanakaw ang nakikitang pangunahing motibo sa krimen at batay sa inisyal na investigasyon, posibleng lulong sa droga ang suspect kaya raw nagawa nitong saksakin ang biktima ng 30 beses. Nag-iisa lang Ed sa bahay ang biktima na 74 years old habang ang kanyang anak kasi ay hindi rin makauwi na naka-lockdown din sa bansang Germany. Kaya ngayon patuloy pa rin ang investigasyon ng Paranaque Police. Ed?
Okay, Bok, yung binanggit mo kanina mga numero, 0 crime rate yung isang bayan, 1 crime yung isa, 2 yung isa. Parang sobrang baba ngayon na. At parang bumabanggayan dun sa mga lumalabas sa social media. Well, social media yon. Lumalabas sa mga social media na may looting, may rioting dun sa ilang bahagi daw at meron pang mga extortion activities yung ibang mga gangs na lumalabas nga sa social media. So, bumabangga siya dun. So, ang sasabi ng PNP, hindi talaga totoo lahat ng mga balitang yon.
Oo, Ed, ang sinasabi ng NCRPO, panay fake news lamang itong kinakalat sa social media dahil ang totoong detalye on the ground ay napakababa lang ng crime rate. At wala rin naman na nga silang namomonitor na looting o riot o kung anumang kaguluhan. Ed?
Sige, kasi ang daming kinakaban dyan sa mga kumakalat sa social media eh. Then again, that's social media nga eh. So alam mo naman minsan sinabi ng kamag-anak ko na galing sa kapatid niya, na kwento sa kanyang asawa niya, and so on down the line. So medyo masalimot ng konti. Maraming salamat, Patricia Mangunit, live from Mandaluyong. Marikina City will conduct its own testing will conduct its own testing for COVID-19 in its newly built molecular laboratory by Monday. For that day alone, they target to test at least 50 people under monitoring using the new facility. Marikina Mayor Marcy Teodoro says they spent around 3 million pesos to set up the laboratory and to procure the testing kits. The city of Marikina is the first local government outside RITM to conduct its own testing for the virus.
This is our contribution to the national government. Yung effort na yung resources na kulang sa national ay
ma-augment ng meron sa local.
At medyo controversial nga po yung issue ng COVID testing sa Pilipinas. Sa ngayon kasi, ang tinetest lamang yung mga may sintomas o kaya yung may mga close contact sa mga COVID positive. Pero kanina po, inanunsyo ng DOH na mag-ooperate na ang 5 mga subnational COVID testing labs para lalong mapadali po yung testing. Ito nga po yung San Lazaro, yung RITM, yung Baguio General sa Norte, Vicente Soto Memorial Center sa Region 7 at Southern Philippines Hospital doon po sa Mindanao. Ngayon, maliban po dyan, pinoproseso na po yung accreditation ng 2 pa, ang West Visayas Medical Center at ang Bicol Public Laboratory. Sa ngayon din, may 4 na pong klase ng testing kits na aprobado na po ng FDA. May karagdagang, 100,000 po dapat yan. 100,000 testing kits na rin na dumating o paparating na sa bansa. Ang sabi po ng DOH, mas maraming laboratory, mas maraming testing kits, mas mabilis ang resulta ng testing. Pero hinihindihan pa rin ng DOH ang lahat ng panukala para sa mass testing. Wala pa raw po kasi tayong kakayahan para dito at hindi pa raw ito napapatunayan na epektibong paraan para labanan yung COVID-19. Isa pa, ang pag-testing daw ng COVID ay napaka-technical at napaka-delikado. Bahagi rin ito ang pag-inactivate ng virus kung saan hinuhugot yung core ng virus. Sa prosesong ito po, maaaring mahawaan daw ang mga lab technicians kung hindi sila mag-iingat. Pero kung lahat umaasa sa national government para po sa mga testing kits, isang LGU nga ang gumawa na ng sariling paraan. Ang Marikina po, isang maliit na syudad sa silangan ng Metro Manila, nagtayo ng sariling molecular laboratory para magsagawa ng sariling COVID testing. Ang ginagamit po nitong test kits ay yung ginawa ng National Institutes of Health ng UP at ng Philippine Genome Center. Bahagi po ito ng field testing ng mga bagong test kits na ito. Sa tansya po ng Marikina LGU, kaya nila mag-test ng hanggang 70 tao araw-araw. Ang testing po magsisimula na nga po sa Lunes. Ang uunahin ng LGU, mga persons under investigation, yung mga PUI, ang mga frontline health workers ng syudad at ang mga vulnerableng sektor, kagaya po ng mga may edad at yung may mga karamdaman. Gaano po kalaki ang investment ng Marikina para dito? Ito po ang ginastos ng syudad. 2.7 million para po magtayo ng polymerase chain reaction o yung PCR machine. Isa po itong espesyal na makina para iproseso yung mga sample ng maaring COVID-19. 200 milyon para i-upgrade ang mga pasilidad ng isang laboratory, 100,000 para sa triage area at 1,200 pesos para sa bawat test. Sumatotal po, aabot ang gastos ng syudad sa 3 hanggang 4 na milyong piso. Maliit na sakripisyo para sa malaking pakinabang ng mga residente. We will go for a quick break. When we return, fatalities in Italy now top China with more than 3,400 deaths. And find out what these Dutch are lining up for before going on quarantine. Stay tuned for that. You are still watching our special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined might of News 5 and Signal TV's One News, Radio 5, and 1PH. Lawmakers are meeting this weekend for a special session to pass appropriate budget measures in light of the ongoing enhanced community quarantine in Luzon. Senator Bongo confirms that the President called on both chambers of Congress to convene and pass measures to boost the budget or a supplemental budget for much-needed social services. Senate President Tito Soto says it is important to ensure that the government has enough funds to buy food packs for the public. Soto worries that a shortage in food and other basic services may lead to social unrest. Both the Senate and the House of Representatives have agreed on a special session while observing preventive measures against the spread of the coronavirus. This includes sticking to a skeletal workforce and maintaining social distance among themselves. Soto says the legislators can meet as early as Saturday or tomorrow. Police are hunting down a COVID-19 positive patient who has gone missing after allegedly giving a wrong address in Quezon City. For the developments, Camille Samonte is joining us live from Quezon City. Camille, anong balita doon sa nawawalang pasyente?
Ed, nilinaw ni Mayor Joy Belmonte na hindi tumakas ang isang COVID-19 patient sa barangay Tandang Sora, Quezon City. Nang i-check kasi ng Quezon City Health Department, wala roon ang pasyente sa address na kanyang ibinigay sa private hospital. Pero nagkamali lang pala sa inilagay sa address ng pasyente dahil may kaparehong number at street ito sa Batasan Hills. So nakumpirma kanina ng DRMO na sa barangay Batasan Hills nga nakatira ang pasyente. Samantala, nadagdagan pa ng 8 kaso ng COVID-19 dito sa Quezon City. Ang isa rito ay nasawi na bago pa lumabas ang resulta sa COVID-19 test. Ed, sa kabuuan, nasa 4 na po na ang bilang ng kaso ng COVID-19 dito sa lungsod ng Quezon City. 7 rito ay mga doktor, habang 5 naman ang nakarecover na. Ed?
Okay, Camille, para malinaw lang tayo. So, mali yung allegedly missing patient. He is actually not missing. He has been found and he has been secured. Tama ba?
Yes, Ed. Nagkamali lang daw doon sa address na inilagay doon yung ibinigay doon sa private hospital. Kasi apparently, same number and street yung nakasulat, pero hindi na-indicate na sa barangay Batasan Hills pala ito.
Okay,
Ed?
Okay, so magkapareho lang ang pangalan at numero, magkaibang barangay. Sige. Pero yung barangay Tandang Sora remains under extreme lockdown kasi previously merong 3 nag-positive dyan sa barangay na yan, di ba?
Yes, nananatili pa rin na nasa extreme enhanced community quarantine ng barangay Tandansora at barangay Kalusugan.
Okay. Now, Camille,
kasi nga yung 2 barangay ay nakapagtala ng 3 kaso ng COVID-19.
Okay. Bok, yung bagong pasyente yung nadiskubre sa Cardinal Santos, tapos akala natin nawala, yung pala nandiyan pa rin. Has he been secured? I mean, has he been taken to a hospital? I suppose he's been visited already by the Quezon City government and by DOH. Any updates on that?
Ed, ayon sa DRMO, nananatili ng naka-quarantine itong pasyente na to.
Okay, meaning siya ay nasa bahay o meaning siya ay nasa ospital?
Ed?
Only if you know. Is the patient now in hospital or is the patient quarantined?
Nasa hospital pa rin, nasa hospital pa rin daw siya.
Okay. So he's in the hospital already. Okay. I just wanted to make that clear.
Pero nung chinek ng DRMO kanina, isa sa ilalim daw sa quarantine yung mga kasamahan niya sa bahay.
And that's only a precautionary measure kasi they were in close contact with somebody who turns out to be positive for COVID-19.
Yes, Ed.
Okay. Maraming salamat. Camille Samonte, join us live from Quezon City. Sa kabila po ng banta ng COVID-19, umaarangkada pa rin ang mga magigiting na food delivery service riders. Pero maging sila, aminadong nahihirapan na dahil sa epekto ng enhanced community quarantine. Narito po report ni Gerard de la Peña.
Sa panahong halos walang laman ng mga kalsada, bumibida ngayon ang mga motorsiklo ng mga food delivery service. Take-out at delivery lang kasi ang pwedeng gawin ng mga nais bumili sa mga restaurant. Kaya naman malaking ginhawa para sa mga naka-self-quarantine at work from home ang ginagawa ng matatapang na food delivery riders.
Ay grabe, napakalaking tulong kasi di na namin kailangan pumunta sa supermarket para bumili ng pagkain.
Kapag gantong oras ng tanghalian o merienda, makikitang nag-uumpukan ng mga motorsiklo ng mga food delivery service sa mga malalaking fast food chains na katulad nito.
Pero maging sila, apektado na rin ng enhanced community quarantine dito sa Luzon. Halos kalahati na lang daw kasi ng mga rider ng GrabFood at Foodpanda ang bumabiyahe ngayon. Hindi raw biro ang pagsasakripisyo nila dahil natatakot din silang mahawahan ng COVID-19.
Nag-iisip din kami tungkol sa aming kalusugan na katulad niyan, imbis na magpahinga na lang, kailangan kumita rin ng pera para sa pamilya.
Bukod dyan, kung dati mahigit 1,000 piso ang kinikita nila kada araw, ngayon, swerte nang umabot ng 500 piso dahil kakaunti na nga lang ang nagbubukas ng mga establishmento.
Sobrang baba. Mahina talaga. Kasi wala talagang kita. Kumbaga, yung ilang biyahe namin, pinagkakasit na rin namin sa araw-araw pagbili ng ano.
Sabi naman ng Grab, Itinataas nila ang delivery service fee mula sa karaniwang 49 pesos na ngayon ay umaabot minsan ng 70 pesos. Ito raw ay para maengganyo ang mga rider na bumiyahe at makatulong na rin sa kanilang kabuhayan.
Ang booking fee naman na po na yun ay hindi naman napupunta sa amin. Ang malaking porsyento po doon ay napupunta sa rider. So sa mga nag-a-avail ng service, konting patience lang po. Alam po lahat tayo ay may needs and requirements ngayon. Pero dahil nga po hindi po lahat ng riders natin ay online, hindi po natin matutugunan lahat ng mga nag-order.
Pakiusap naman ng mga otoridad, magpakita tayo ng kaunting pagpupugay sa mga matyagang nagtatrabaho at nagbubuwis ng buhay ngayong panahon ng krisis. Umaaksyon, Gerard de la Peña, News 5.
Italy's death toll from COVID-19 surpasses that of China, where the virus first emerged. The number of deaths in the European country has reached 3,405, becoming the deadliest center of the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, the current number of deaths in China stands at 3,242. The Italian government is preparing to prolong the imposed emergency lockdown measures across the country. The arrival of the Olympic flame in Japan from Greece was celebrated in a scaled-down ceremony on Friday due to the growing threat of COVID-19. Former Japanese Olympians collected the flame from an aircraft at Matsushima Air Base and took it to a cauldron on a stage in front of selected guests. Daily arrival and departure ceremonies are closed to the public. All torchbearers will also have their temperatures taken before participating in the actual relay scheduled to start on March 26. Some shoppers in the Netherlands are stocking up not on alcohol, not on toilet paper, but on weed, marijuana for you guys. In this video obtained by Reuters, long lines formed outside of marijuana coffee shops. That's after the government ordered a lockdown to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The Netherlands is one of the latest countries that decided to close down schools, restaurants, and other establishments. Let's now check the latest COVID-19 global figures with the help of this online tracking map created by Johns Hopkins University. There are now 245,000 confirmed cases worldwide, more than 80,000 of which has been recorded in mainland China. Italy, meanwhile, has recorded more than 40,000 infections, accounting for the second highest number among all the nations, followed by Iran with over 18,000 cases. Now, the death toll over there on the left stands at more than 10,000 already. As you can see, Italy has the most number of fatalities, overtaking China. The European country has recorded more than 3,400 deaths so far. On what you might see as the brighter side, there are now more than 86,000 people who have recovered from the coronavirus disease so far. Tech companies are also joining the fight against the global coronavirus infection. At ang tinatarget po nila ay fake news at mga maling impormasyon. Natin po ang quick take mula po sa Bloomberg. And that's the latest on the enhanced and expanded community quarantine in Luzon. For more updates, follow News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News.